There are 3 levels of literacy. We will look at each one and try to understand what makes them different. There is the baseline level for literacy, there is the functional level for literacy, and then there is the multiple level for literacy. What we've talked about previously is really the baseline level, which means the bare minimum to be considered literate. And that simply includes, again, simply reinforcing what we've already talked about earlier, the ability to read simple passages, maybe something as simple as a newspaper, the ability to write something very simple, maybe just a simple 4 or 5 line application, the ability to do simple quantitative skills, which simply is, if you go to the market and you buy something and you pay the amount and you need to get change, you should be aware of what amount of change you're getting. That's the basic quantitative skills that we're talking about. And basic simple computer skills, be able to operate the computer, type, be part of the social media, and so on and so forth. This forms the baseline literacy, the bare minimum. If all children, if all students have that, they are ready for the next step, which is functional literacy. Now, the functional literacy is at a higher level, and the functionality comes in multiple forms. Functioning in society versus functioning in schools versus functioning at home. At home, it is easy to function in your mother tongue or the common regional language or the local language, but in society, it might be the national language. In schools, predominantly, you are expected to do it in English. But regardless of the language, the functional literacy makes you functional within the 3 realms: home, school, and society. In other words, can you carry out a simple conversation in some language with somebody? In other words, can you read something more than just a newspaper? In other words, can you do some more basic calculations other than simply looking at whether you're getting the right amount of change from a purchase that you've made? Functional literacy is what common people need, and young children need it too. What functional literacy allows you to do is to become functional within a society. You are not dependent on somebody reading to you a message or a letter that you've received and trying to tell you what it is. How do you know what the person is saying? Is it exactly what the letter says? Is it something they've added on their own? Have they missed something from the letter? When somebody reads to you something, what you get is what that person thinks you need, because nobody does word-for-word literal translations or literal readings for you and explain to you what this means. So functionality is critical. When young people are at this middle level of literacy, the functional level of literacy, they are more independent, they are not dependent, and when you're not dependent, you gain confidence. With that confidence, you are ready to get into the 3rd stage, which is multiple literacy. This multiple literacy is now not just schoolwork, not just talking at home, but doing better quality work in terms of, are you ready to do research? Can you talk to somebody in another country, even if it is on social media? Can you use words appropriately? Do you have a vocabulary bank? Do you have a wealth of vocabulary, or do you use the same words to describe different things you come across? That is multiple literacy. When you can understand that walk, run, jog, sprint, amble are movements, but they are not the same thing. When you can understand that these different words are minutely different from one another, although all these words have the common element of movement embedded in them. Multiple literacy gives you much more confidence, makes you way more independent, and with multiple literacy, or being at that level, you are ready to impart literacy skills to other individuals. And if young people who are at that level can work with younger people in their community, in their society, in their villages, or wherever they are, then multiple literacy becomes a blessing. So, where are our students? At what level of literacy are they? Are they at the baseline level, the functional level, or are they at the multiple level? The level depends on us teachers and individuals in education. They came to us with basic skills. Have they progressed? Have we made sure they've moved ahead?